Quite a few of the consultations on Haruki Murakami's forum are related to infidelity. In this video, I would like to introduce such consultations. First, when asked by a reader about the difference between cheating and infidelity, Haruki Murakami responded as follows. In my opinion, cheating is a state in which one's mind wanders lightly, and it may or may not involve physical relations. In comparison, infidelity is a bit more serious and uncontrollable. There is a nagging sense that the existing system may be fundamentally shaken up. I think infidelity will, of course, involve a shared sexual experience. A woman in her 30s asked him a question. I am married, and I have fallen in love with my boss at work, a man who is not very family-oriented. When we started dating, I seriously considered divorce. In the end, we broke up, partly because I could not discern his feelings. However, I thought it was a good stimulus. What do you think, Mr. Murakami? One thing I can say is that whether it is pure love, cheating, or infidelity, if you can love someone, you should love them while you can. The memory of loving someone slowly warms a person's heart over a long period of time. Here is an email to him from a female reader. A few months ago, I became romantically involved with someone at work and was dating him behind my husband's back. However, my husband found out about our email correspondence, and we ended it. I was happy to be in love with him because it had been a long time since I had experienced the exuberance of love. I just can't believe that love is a sin. I understand very well your argument that it is just a fling and there is nothing to feel guilty about. At the same time, I understand your furious husband's argument. My argument is very simple. It is worse to do something that could be found out. I think you should feel a little guilty for hurting your husband's feelings rather than for having an affair. The problem is not so much the affair itself, but the trust. This is a question from a man in his 20s to him. Mr. Haruki, do you think infidelity is wrong? My basic opinion about infidelity is roughly as follows. If the affair is not for fun from the beginning, the probability that it will be fulfilled and end in a happy outcome is quite low. But if you really love someone, there is nothing anyone can do to stop you. Because love is an unreasonable thing, and people who fall in love with someone don't consider the probabilities. Loving someone is a good thing, and it is necessary for human beings. If you really love the person you are with, it is okay to have an affair, in my opinion. However, I recommend that you take some more time and think about it carefully. I have seen all kinds of relationship problems, and once you get into the mire, it is hard to come back out. I am currently on the verge of infidelity, and I am having trouble. In fact, yesterday, a coworker confessed to me that he loves me. I am single, but he is married. If you say that if you love someone, you can't help it, then you are right. Because loving or not loving is an effect of the mind and has nothing to do with the institution. But realistically speaking, infidelity is a very troublesome thing. My advice is to either do it lightly or do it seriously. If you can't be thorough, you shouldn't have an affair. I used to date my boss at work. Later, I met my current husband, got pregnant, left my boss, and got married. After giving birth, I returned to work and realized that I still loved that boss. I could not suppress my feelings, and we started dating again. Is it wrong to continue this relationship while still taking care of each other's families? If possible, I would like to stay in this relationship for the rest of my life and date occasionally. There is nothing good or bad about it. I have no advice. You should do what you think is good for you. But you should be well prepared for the fact that such a life is risky. On the other hand, sometimes it is the risks that make life so fascinating. I love my husband, but recently I have been in a kind of affair with a man who is 10 years older than me. There is no benefit for me to have an affair with someone who is inferior to my current husband, but I just can't stop. Haruki, what should I do? I think there is someone inside of you that you don't know, and that person is looking for a new experience. But that's not really an excuse, is it? So, there is nothing I can advise you to do. Life is a game in which you can never predict what will happen next. But you still have to accept the responsibility. It is important to live your life with that resolve. The last question is from a reader to Murakami about infidelity in his novels. I have read all your works. One thing that has always bothered me is that you seem to portray infidelity in a positive light. I would like to know if this is to make his works more interesting, or if it is something like a belief of his. I am not saying that I approve of infidelity. It's just that the human mind doesn't always work in accordance with the system. It is one of the essential functions of a novel to depict various aspects of reality, and to approve or deny it is a different matter. I am simply looking at the fate of the characters in the novel with a quiet gaze. What do you think? I think it is inevitable that we fall in love with people, but we must be prepared to accept responsibility.